all know. As we all know, some of the wealthiest people in the world really like to party. Imagine being a billionaire and not spending a bunch of time and money partying with your friends and family. Couldn't be me. Not only do they love to party, they love to find many different excuses to throw some of the most lavish parties this world has ever known. We're talking parties ranging from your everyday birthday celebrations, the secret parties that inspire conspiracy theories, and the more debaucherous parties that could land you in family court. So join us as we take a look at some of the craziest ways billionaires like to party. The billionaire parties that shape conspiracies. Now and then, the super wealthy get together under the most suspicious circumstances in the most clandestine way possible to potentially discuss matters of world-shaping proportions. And boy, are there conspiracy theorists ready to just eat it up. One of these conspiracy-inducing gatherings is known as Bohemian Grove, a mysterious annual retreat of powerful people in Northern California. No one truly knows what goes on there, but if you were to believe the spokesperson for Bohemian Grove, it's nothing more than a chance to share a passion for the outdoors, music, and theater. How conveniently not suspicious at all. For a couple of weeks, every July, wealthy leaders, businessmen, and politicians gather in the woods, where they make powerful decisions over copious amounts of alcohol. Of course, the members of this group have been kept private, but over the years, there have been leaks here and there. Politicians like George Bush Jr. and Sr. have been discovered attending the Grove. And back in the summer of 1968, Ronald Reagan reportedly agreed not to primary Richard Nixon. As the two mingled there, politicians know all about the Grove. Former President Bill Clinton once said, "That's where all those rich Republicans go out and stand naked against redwood trees, right?" And we know that world-changing events like the early planning for the Manhattan Project took place at the Bohemian Grove. Nothing like the fresh, woodsy air to help you plan out weapons of mass destruction, I've heard. Yeah, the Bohemian Grove isn't all camp songs and campfire stories. Another gathering of the super rich that has inspired several theories was the surrealist ball thrown by the Rothschild family, a family just dripping with conspiracy. If you haven't heard about the Rothschilds, let me tell you, they are the very definition of old money. They are an international banking and finance dynasty with operations all across Europe, dating all the way back to the mid-18th century. With centuries of enormous wealth and political power, the conspiracy theories just come naturally. And it certainly didn't help that in 1972, they decided to throw the most bizarre ball ever recorded. The ball was held in the largest and most lavish chateau in all of France, the Chateau d'If. The entire building was transformed into an interactive maze, but that wasn't nearly creepy enough for the Rothschilds. The servants and butlers were instructed to pretend to be cats when attending to their guests' every need. The rooms were filled with gutted and stuffed animals, taxidermied and displayed. Even the plates were covered in animal furs. Salvador Dali probably figured out there would be leaked pictures of the event, so he went ahead and designed for the guests some of the freakiest fashion costumes that'll haunt your nightmares. With Baroness Rothschild herself appearing wearing a golden deer's head with tears made of real diamonds. A very normal costume for a very normal party. What really went on in this party isn't known. As far as we can tell, this might have been the only party of its kind thrown by the Rothschilds, but it probably wasn't. Throwing crazy parties is half the part of being a billionaire after all. Billionaire birthday bashes. Who doesn't love birthdays? Secret parties. You're not going to hear about every billionaire soiree on entertainment news tonight. And that's because, believe it or not, billionaires tend to throw quite a few shady, clandestine parties they don't want you to know about. Or at the very least, don't want you to know what's going on in there. One of these shady gatherings of incredibly powerful men is the Kappa Beta Phi Dinner, a secret gathering of some of the wealthiest and influential men on Wall Street that holds once a year at the St. Regis Ballroom in New York City. This isn't your regular black tie dinner. This gathering was designed to be an ultra-exclusive meeting of the wealthiest men in the financial community. It's basically a college fraternity, but everyone wears suits and gambles away your life savings. They made fun of the fact that they totally destroyed our economy. They made fun of the fact that they got a bailout from the government and U.S. taxpayers, and they dressed up in dresses and wigs. Kappa Beta Phi was founded at the dawn of the Great Depression, and ever since then, it's been an avenue for some of the wealthiest people to get together, let loose, laugh about how much wealthier they are than everyone else, and be terrible together. together. According to Kevin Roos, that is. He's a reporter that snuck into the 80th anniversary Kappa Beta Phi dinner back in 2012. That is, before being kicked out by billionaire politician Wilbur Ross. Not all secret billionaire parties are about wearing stuffy suits and dinner talk. Nah, sometimes they just want to break the law. Just ask the Epsteins. When you live in a country like Saudi, billionaire sex parties. It turns out, the movies were right all along. Rich and powerful people do enjoy their lusty love lounges and depraved dalliances. But you probably already knew that, didn't you? The Cannes Film Festival is a lot of things to a lot of people. From a celebration of art to a glamorous party. But for the Hollywood heavyweights and wealthy businessmen from around the world, the Cannes Film Festival is a different kind of party. When the night comes rolling around, the parties here are the kind of crazy you'd call unrealistic in an X-rated movie. Hundreds of working girls flock to the festival to ply their trade. I'm talking high-end call girls capable of making up to $40,000 a night. According to a Lebanese businessman who described the scene to the Hollywood Reporter, you can find about 30 or 40 luxury yachts parked in the bay during the festival each year. Each boat filled with women, drugs, and alcohol. Let's just say that sleeping is not a priority in Cannes. And apparently, all of this has been going on right under our noses for the past 60 years. But honestly, can we really blame them? With a ticket price of $22,500 for the festival, you gotta get a little something. Another billionaire that really understood the virtue of the pleasure party is Broadcom founder Henry Nicholas. He figured, why wait a few months for the next sex soiree when he could just throw his own whenever he wanted? So he turned a warehouse in California into his very own never-ending adult fantasy room. Very Christian Grey style, except less bondage and more drugs. His pleasure pad was reportedly stocked with all sorts of inebriants, like cocaine, meth, and ecstasy, as well as a constant rotation of well-compensated ladies, creating the ultimate shag lair for him and his friends. Henry Nicholas was so proud of his creation that he allegedly hired a construction crew to connect the place to his home through underground passageways. Eventually, though, Nicholas was arrested and charged with 5 counts of drug trafficking. But come on, the man has a net worth of $6.3 billion, so of course, he managed to spend no jail time for his alleged crimes. So what do you think about these billionaire parties?
Several high-profile names are listed in newly released documents turned over by the estate of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee say they will not stop until they identify everyone complicit, they say, in Epstein's heinous crimes. But Republicans are accusing Democrats of cherry-picking documents and politicizing the investigation. Nicole Killian reports on these new findings.
From Elon Musk to Bill Gates, the latest batch of Epstein-related documents reads like a who's who. Take this entry from Jeffrey Epstein's itinerary dated December 6, 2014. Reminder, Elon Musk to island. Is this still happening? While it's unclear which island this refers to, Epstein regularly invited guests to Little St. James in the Caribbean, his own private island, which he used as a base for allegedly abusing underage girls. There is no evidence Musk made the trip. Another entry years later reads, Saturday, February 16, 2019, 7 a.m., breakfast with Steve Bannon. Both Bannon, a former White House advisor, and Musk, a tech titan and ex-Doge czar, are among the staunchest allies of President Trump, who continues to downplay the ongoing investigation.
It's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant.
Friday's release totals over 8,500 documents and includes phone messages, flight logs, and manifests, as well as copies of Epstein's financial ledger and daily schedule, like this item from December 5th, 2014, showing a TBD breakfast party with Microsoft founder Bill Gates. Ex-wife Melinda told CBS News in 2022 that his relationship with Epstein played a role in their divorce. We reached out to representatives for several of the individuals named, including Gates, Musk, and Bannon, but have not heard back. A spokesperson for the Republican-led oversight panel accused Democrats of cherry-picking documents and politicizing the investigation.
We're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Probably like one of the most common and least favorite sentences you've heard over like the last year or so, as like we've just been hamstrung along about like information coming out about the whole thing. Well, we finally got some stuff that's concrete. It's not nearly all of it. It's not what we are all thinking of as the quote-unquote Epstein files, but we actually got some files about Epstein we hadn't seen before. On November 12th, the House Oversight Committee released emails that they got directly from the Epstein estate. I think it started with Democrats who released like some censored versions, and then and Republicans were like, you're cherry picking, and then they released all of them uncensored. And I think it's worse. Like, I think it looks worse. I'm considering like a deeper dive on this for the main channel because, oh my God, we are looking at some shit. But the thing I want to talk about today is something incredibly selective that I just have not been able to stop thinking about for like the last 24 hours. The concept of Donald Trump having given Bill Clinton head when they were still friends. It originates from this post where like it's a series of emails sent from Mark L. Epstein to Jeffrey Epstein. And yeah, Jeffrey Epstein has a living brother. That'll come up. I'd rather be in Donnie D's shoes. From Jeffrey to Mark, you mean Donnie T? Mark says, you and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard, sent via tin can and string. G says, and I thought I had Surrey's. Mark says, ask him if Putin had the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Okay, there are parts that are still redacted here. Bubba, in this case, is everybody's assuming refers to Bill Clinton. It's very likely that this was a joke, and if it's not even referring to Bill Clinton. But Bubba was a nickname given to Bill Clinton at one point in time. His folksy manner led to him being nicknamed Bubba starting from the 1992 presidential election. Like, holy shit, dude. You already have, like, insane shit like this. Monica Lewinsky? This is so disrespectful to Monica Lewinsky, one of the greatest anti-bullying advocates of our generation. She's doing great work. For some people, the most shocking bit of this was finding out about Mark Epstein. And while we're on the topic of nicknames, this guy used to get called fucking Puggy. Nicknamed Puggy is an American property developer. Fucking awesome, dude. Trump sucked off Bill Clinton, and Putin has the pics. What a sucked off Bill Clinton, and Putin has the pics. What a fucking joke of a country. You guys see him? And then, like, you have this one clip of him, I don't know, jerking off two microphones. Why did he lean back and forth? Why did he do both of those? I don't know what context that would fit under. This one of Trump giving Bill Clinton some Kirk. And they're replacing the term neck with a term for giving someone a blowjob with Kirk because Kirk got shot in the neck. Not a cosign of political violence. I can't believe you thought of that shit. See, this is how I imagined the Clintons' relation. Important that we close out this saga with one more Deltarune reference. This is a real picture of Trump and Bill Clinton edited to be Spamtenna. I once heard people ship Joe Biden and Donald Trump as Spamtenna, and honestly, they were really close to being on the mark to real reality. Ask him if Mike has the photos of Spamton blowing.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to our apostles, our elder bishops, and brothers of Great Millstone and Ruel. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect, pushing the true doctrine across the four winds of the earth in all truth and sincerity. I'm Lamar Ariyah from the Mississippi Camp. Lord willing, this be an edifying lesson. And this was just a prelude or a cluster of videos basically just showing that these people are vile, wicked people. These Edomites are some vile, wicked, disgusting people, man. And they have been doing and practicing this wickedness, this witchcraft for decades, all right? You know, having these different meetings, you know, these different sacrifices they be doing at these places, you know, just drinking blood, like I say, human sacrifices, sex trafficking, you know, making people be sex slaves, just any manner of wickedness you could think of. These people have been doing it, man. They were estranged from the womb. They just do anything that's completely outrageously wicked in the society, man. And that's why we see society the way it is today, man. It's the morality has declined or is non-existent. Integrity has nothing to do with society. Again, morals are out the window. It's all about do as thou wilt, being completely wicked, you know, obeying your thirst, not being spiritual, man. But these people have nothing to do with the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai anyway. But they have such an influence on 2/3 of Israel and the rest of the world that the whole earth is becoming a vile place. You know? Men can marry men, women can marry women, people can marry animals. You know, you got bestiality happening, a bunch of sodomy. It's just a wicked and vile place because it's run and ruled by a wicked nation of people, man, starting with these elite bankers. And they are the spearhead to all the wickedness that goes on in America, man. So I'm going to give the scripture and I'm going to close it out. This is the book of Job, chapter 30, starting in verse 1. But now they are younger than I, have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set them with the dogs of my flock. So Job was like, I wouldn't even allow these people to be around my animals, man, my dogs. They couldn't even sit amongst my dogs, man, because this devil be violating animals, man. I remember some years back, it was this damn rich Edomite. I can't remember what family from, maybe been a DuPont, but this nigga was violating, doing some bestiality to a fucking dolphin, man. Just weird. These people are through, okay? But this is who is ruling. Verse 2, yea, whereto might the strength of their hand profit me, in whom old age was perished. Verse 3, for want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former times desolate to waste. Because these people, man, they were banded away or banned from society, man. Okay, to dwell in these mountains and shit like that. They was not fit to be in society. They was not fit to be around people, man. Okay? Who cut up mellows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. So they was eating those, that's why they so crazy about marshmallows and shit, roasting marshmallows, because they would pick those mellows and eat them in those particular roots to be their meat. You know, they were just dwelling in this particular wilderness, man, like the low vibrational people they are. Okay? Verse 5, they were driven forth from among men. See, they were driven away from people, from society. They cry after them as afar a thief. They cry after them as after a thief. To dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks. And that's why these devils always, you know, mountain climbing or, you know, going to these hunting retreats and shit, you know, because that's their nature. Okay. Among the bushes they brayed, under the needles they were gathered together. They were the children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. So these are a low level group of a nation with no morals, no integrity, and no standards. Okay, and there's pretty much a straight brute beast who has no they really have no place in ruling, you know. But of course, the Lord set them up to rule because of the disobedience of the children of Israel, okay, the nation of Israel. So he put this base man above us. And they're ruling and they're running the earth into a more viler, disgusting, filthy place than it has ever been. So we're going to look up the word vile. Okay, when you go to etymology online, the word vile goes into morally repugnant. Repugnant means what? Hostile, opposed, contrary, contradictory, inconsistent. Yeah, because this devil's all over the place and everything he says is a lie. He's a liar and the father of it. You know, he's not consistent in his rulership. You know, he's not consistent in his laws. He's not consistent in any damn thing except for being wicked. His wickedness is a constant thing, but it also, and it changes. Okay. He be all over the place. Morally flawed, corrupt, wicked, of no value, because he's a base man. Okay. He's that vessel of, Salakia, of dishonor. This devil is the vessel of dishonor, man. He is of no value, of inferior quality, and he thinks he's superior. He thinks he's a supreme being. He thinks he's a superior race, man, but he's not. He's just a tool the Lord is using to punish the nation of Israel, man. But this devil has went too far. He's a cancer. Everything is suffering because of this devil being in rulership. Okay? The people, the animals, the plants, the earth, the air, the water, you name it. He's a cancerous being. And his wickedness is causing to spread throughout the earth, man. And the earth becoming more and more vile. Okay? So we're going to go back to the scripture. And now I am their song, yea, I am their byword. So this devil has been put in a position to rule in this synthetic rulership, and he talks down and speaks ill will about the nations, man. And we see how he has been rounding up the northern kingdom. You know how he's been abusing, murdering the southern kingdom. And Israel as a whole, how he has been constantly that thorn in Jake's side, man. But the Lord is getting ready to take this devil down because he has run his course. His rulership is at his end. This is the latter end of this devil, man. He thought he was going to be a lady forever. But this devil is going to be utterly destroyed after going into 1,000 years of captivity, man. You know, and I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but Lord Williams edifying. But the whole point is to bring out those videos to show you this devil has a habitual wicked way of living, man. And he has spreaded this wicked spirit throughout the earth. And the earth is suffering from the vile ways of this devil, man. And that's why there's going to be a great purification that's going to come to this earth, man, by way of thermonuclear missiles, as well as Yahweh Shai and the heavenly host of angels. Okay? So, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to our apostles, our elder bishops, the brothers of Great Millstone and Ruel. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom.